The higher education cost per annum are rupees 3 lakhs at present cost. The costs are escalating at 9% per annum. Mr. A estimates for his son that such funds would be required for 5 years after 6 years from now. See, very carefully you have to read the line. Okay. Mr. A estimates that for his son such funds would be required for 5 years means what? His college education is going to happen, higher education is going to happen for 5 years. It's a 5-year course. And after 6 years from now, that means he might be 12 years now, his age might be 12 or something, so he will be 18 after 6 years. Okay, so after 6 years only he is going to go for the college education. Okay, I'll repeat it. When you read the statement, Mr. A estimates for his son that such funds means higher education cost, would be required for 5 years. That means 5 years he is going to study higher education after 6 years from now. So he is going to start his higher education after 6 years from now. Okay, so there is a waiting period of 6 years. After that only his college education will start, and what is the amount required is 3 lakhs per annum, which is escalating at 9% per annum. Okay, so escalation cost percentage is 9%. He starts accumulating funds immediately in a systematic manner every month in an equity mutual fund scheme. So he starts SIP in equity. He would switch equivalent funds required to a particular year to liquid mutual fund scheme 1 year in advance. So what he is going to do? He is going to shift. Suppose a fund is required when the child is 18. What he will do is, at the age 17 itself, 1 year prior, he will keep that fund required amount in liquid scheme. Got the point? That is, what is the statement? He would switch equivalent funds required for a particular year to liquid mutual fund scheme 1 year in advance. That means he is preparing himself. He is like putting it at a safer fund. Okay. So money is done on, investment is done on SIP basis, which is continuously happening in equity mutual fund scheme, and then every expense when it is about to happen in the next year, current year, he will move it. So what are all the things that will happen? Imagine the son is 12 years now, 6 years down the line, that is after 6 years he wants the first withdrawal. But when he will withdraw? He will withdraw at the 5th year itself. He will withdraw after 5 years one amount and put it in liquid scheme. That is a first year requirement. Then after 6 years, what he will withdraw? He will withdraw the amount which is required for the 7th year. 7th year he will withdraw which is required for 8th year. Like that, he will withdraw 1 year in advance and move it to liquid scheme. Okay. So the funds would continue to be accumulated for a period up to the last switch to liquid fund. Okay. When will the last switch happen? The last switch will happen when the last installment is required, isn't it? He is going to study for 5 years. So the last switch will happen 1 year prior to the last withdrawal. Did you understand this? I will show you the timeline also for this. Okay. What should be the SIP amount in equity growth fund? Okay. So this is what is the question. 12% is equity return, 6% is liquid return. Okay. It's actually a simple question only, but what they have done is, they have done a little complex situation kind of a thing. Okay. That's why we get confused. I will show you how you have to draw the timeline. Okay. Okay, this is the timeline. Currently he is here, and then I'll draw lines 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. I'll tell you why I am drawing 6 lines over here. Okay. So now we will start entering. I'll just assume that current age of the child is 12. Okay, why I am assuming 12 is because generally higher education starts at the age of 18, and then they have given 6 years down the line the child will go to college. So in such cases, 6 years down the line is 18 means now current age is 12. Okay, so I will write age 18 here. Okay, so the withdrawals are 5 withdrawals: 18, 19, 20, 21, and then last one is 22. So these are all the 5 withdrawals that are going to happen. Okay, now what is happening is from when to when he is going to save. Okay, that is important. What they have told is when is the withdrawal going to happen? For 18th year requirement, he will withdraw funds at the age of 17 itself. This is the first withdrawal, and this is the second withdrawal, third, fourth, and then fifth. There is nothing to be withdrawn when he is actually going for the last year of study. Okay, nothing is withdrawn. Why? Because everything they want to keep in liquid scheme. So equity scheme, when you imagine that, what you need to imagine is your first line is the equity line, and the second line from here to here is your liquid line, liquid fund line. Okay, I will just write this is the equity scheme line. Okay, and the below line is liquid scheme line. Why is it so? Because in liquid scheme he has been keeping some money, right, one after the other, so that the withdrawals can happen properly. Now this equity line is going from when to when. When he is starting the savings, he is starting the saving immediately by putting by starting an SIP in equity scheme. Now that will go on till the last withdrawal, that is last switch to liquid scheme. So last switch to liquid scheme will happen when the age is 21. Last withdrawal is 22, but last switch will happen at 21, because all the equity he would have cleared it and then moved it to liquid. Okay, so what I will do here is I will draw an arrow, I will draw a double arrowhead so that you will understand from here till this point only equity is going to be there. Okay, so equity scheme line is starting from this age, from age 12 to age 21. Got the point? And then our liquid line is going to be from age 17 till age 22. You will be thinking, why 17? Because 17 only the first amount is moved, isn't it? So at 17 he is going to move the first line, first withdrawal, and put it in the liquid scheme, because 1 year prior to the first withdrawal requirement. So the liquid scheme will start at 17 and continue till 22, whereas equity scheme will start at 12 and continue till 21. Now, so much of confusion. How do I do this? This is only to make you understand that these two are the things which are supposed to be considered. Okay. Now, my question arises, should I consider both the lines? You have to consider equity line for investment and liquid line for withdrawals. That's all. Two simple things. Because from liquid only he is going to withdraw. Is he going to save anything in liquid? He is not going to save anything in liquid. In liquid he is going to put the money which is required. That's all. So we know what is the requirement. 3 lakhs is the amount which is required, which is escalated at 9%. So as you know what is the withdrawal amount, so understand that liquid line I can draw separately for withdrawals and equity line I can draw separately for investments. Then there will be a clarity. Okay. Now whatever I have drawn is both combined to make us understand that from which age to which age I have to consider each and everything. Okay. Now we'll start with liquid line. Why we have to have the liquid line first is because that is a value I know. What is the amount he is going to withdraw I know. What is the return on liquid? I know. So I can find out money equivalent as on today. That is what is the purpose, right? What is the purpose? The thing is, okay, you have a liquid scheme, okay, wherein you are going to withdraw the money. What is the amount you are going to withdraw year after year, you know. So in such cases, what you are going to do is, if this is my withdrawal, what should be the lump sum I need to invest today? You can equate it, correct? Once you equate it, what you can do is, that equated amount you can find out spreading across the equity scheme line. Okay. So once we do it, you will be able to understand. So liquid scheme line is there. So let us find out what is that amount that is required to be withdrawn. Okay. So I will draw a vertical line now. Okay. All types of lines I will draw so that we will have at least some fun in drawing these lines. Okay. So how many withdrawals are going to happen? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then sixth line is there. Sixth one is there, but there is no withdrawal that is going to happen. I'll tell you why. Okay. Now we will fill up the age also here. So the first withdrawal is happening when he is 17, and then next is 18, then 19, 20, and then 21. 22 there is no withdrawal. Why? Because he has already withdrawn and put it in the fund. Okay. So now there are two things which you need to understand. Okay. Current cost is 3 lakhs. So when the child is 18, what is the required cost? Future value of 3 lakhs. Correct? So what I can write here is 3 lakhs multiplied by 1 plus inflation was 9% raised to the power of how many years it has to be inflated? It has to be inflated for 6 years, isn't it? He told that it is going to be required after 6 years. So this is what is going to be the cost for the first required amount. I am not talking about withdrawal. I am talking about the amount required for him to put it in the, pay for the college. At age 18, they require this much. Then age 19, what is the amount? 3 lakhs multiplied by 1 plus 9% raised to the power of 7. Okay. Then next year, it's going to be 3 lakhs multiplied by 1 plus 9% raised to the power of 8. Next year, 3 lakhs into 1 plus 9% raised to the power of 9. Then the last year, 3 lakhs into 1 plus 9% raised to the power of 10. So these are all the withdrawals, these are all the payments he has to do to the college. Okay. So now let me inflate and take the value. I have to go to my Excel. Equal to 3 lakhs multiplied by 1 plus 1.09 raised to the power of 6. So that's coming as 503,130. Okay. This is the first value is 503,130. Next one is the previous value multiplied by 1.09. 548,412. Okay. So this is 548,412.
I'm not able to see the Excel.
No, I'm not showing the Excel mainly because it is only a multiplication I am doing. Whatever I can do in calculator. Okay. 597769. Now I want you to see only the timeline. Okay. 597769. 597769. Okay. Even if you could tell me the answer values also, I'll post it. My Excel I am just using only for multiplication purpose. Six five one five six eight. 651568. Okay. The next one is 710209. 710209. Okay. So these are all the amounts which he has to pay to the college as fees. When the child is 18, inflated value of 3 lakhs at that age will be 503130. So this is what he has to pay. Now what happens? I need to come to the liquid line. Okay, a little bit. This itself is a liquid line only. These are all the withdrawals which are going to happen at the liquid line. Okay. Now I need to convert this into an equity line. How do I convert it into an equity line? Okay, I will draw an adjacent line.
There is one question. If it is for 5 years and it starts from, yes, so it will be 1823rd. Okay, I will.
Okay, you got the point by yourself. See, this question is only drawing, okay? Other than that, calculation is very less only. Got it? The reason is, see, I have drawn the liquid line. Now what I need to do is, this is equity line. The liquid line tells you what is the withdrawals that are happening from the liquid scheme. Now equity line tells me what is that I am switching from equity to liquid. Okay. Now what will happen is, the age is there, right? So here the withdrawals will start from 17. I have to write the age again. There will be repetition, let us not mind, because until we understand clearly, let us do some repetition, nothing wrong in that. Okay. Now you think about age 22. When the last withdrawal is happening, is he going to move anything from equity? From equity nothing is moved, because at 21 itself the last installment is pushed to liquid, isn't it? See, what is required at 18 is withdrawn in 17 itself, and what is required in 19 is withdrawn at 18. So the last withdrawal which is required at 22nd is withdrawn at 21 itself. Okay. So at 22 is 0 in equity line. Okay. Whereas 21, what he will withdraw from equity? What he will switch from equity to liquid?
7,10,000.
7,10,209. But he is pushing it 1 year in advance. Correct? What will happen during this 1 year? That amount what he is pushing will grow in liquid return, right? I am keeping the money at home means it will not grow. If I am putting it in SB account, it will grow at the SB rate, savings bank rate. Now I am pushing the money 1 year in advance in liquid scheme. So that money what I have put in liquid will grow for 1 year at liquid return. So I need not put the full money. I can put a little less, which is equivalent to the liquid return. So at 22,17,209 is the future value required. Whereas you require the present value for 1 year at liquid return. So what you need to do here is, this is equal to 710209 divided by 1.06, 1 plus 6%. Are you able to understand this? Why I am doing this?
Yes.
Whenever future value to present value means 1 year discount I am doing. Same way I'll go to 20. In 20, what I am going to withdraw from equity to liquid, switch from equity to liquid is 651568. Again, that also has to be discounted for 1 year. Here everything is 1 year discounting only, because we have already inflated all those cases. Okay. Now the next one. Now you know the flow. So one by one you can tell me. 597769 divided by 1 plus 6%. Then at age 18, what will happen is 548412 divided by 1 plus 6%. Okay. Then at 17, what will happen is 503130 divided by 1 plus 6%. So these are all the withdrawals which are going to happen. Okay. So this liquid line is done with. Now equity line is done. Okay. So now equity line doesn't stop here, because equity line is starting when he is 12, isn't it? So now I know what is the cash flow for the equity line. This is what I wanted. But how is my equity line? I'll draw the equity line here to make you understand. My equity line starts at age 12, and then it is going to be there till age 21. 12 to 21. 12 to 21, what is going to happen? 12 to 21, I am going to make the investments. Right? From this point to this point, investments are going to be done. That is, SIP is going to be done. Okay. So I'll write SIPs over here. SIP at the rate of 11% is going, 11 or 12%, whatever they have given, that's going to happen. SIP in equity. So what is the number of years? That's going to be spread across. N is equal to 21 minus 12 is how much? 9 years, right?
Yeah, 9 years.
9 years. On a monthly basis, SIP is going to happen. And then what else is going to happen is, at the same time, from the same equity, I am going to do the withdrawals. So at 17, 18, 19, 20 and then 21. So these are all the withdrawals. What are the withdrawal amounts? Withdrawal amounts I have written on top, right? Withdrawals are going to be how much? We'll just see. Now you have to tell me the amounts. Otherwise I may have to go back to Excel and calculate them. $474,651 is the first withdrawal. $474,651. What forgetful I am. $474,651. 651. Sorry, I'll erase this. It has not appeared properly. 474,651, and then the second withdrawal is 517,370. 517,370 is the second withdrawal, and the third withdrawal is 563,933. 563,933, and then the fourth withdrawal is 614,687, 614,687, and then the last withdrawal is 67,009. 67,009. Okay, so these are all the withdrawals which I am going to do. So first year withdrawal is this. Okay, when his age is 17, he is going to withdraw this amount. And then second year withdrawal is going to, when he is 18, he wants to withdraw this amount. 19, this. Withdraw means withdraw from equity, put it into liquid scheme. That is what is called as switching. Okay, so these are all the withdrawal going to happen. So what I will do is, in fact it is better I write switch here. Okay, whereas for my equity it is just withdrawal only, whereas for a liquid it is an incoming investment. Okay, now our liquid scheme job is done. We are left with only equity scheme. Why? Because liquid scheme, whatever is the withdrawal amount we got, then we have discounted it into equity scheme, discounted by liquid return, and we know the amounts. That's all is the liquid scheme job. That is done. Now I have to concentrate on equity only. So this is the value in equity. Can you find out PMT from this? It's very easy because you know the withdrawals. Just find out the PV for the withdrawals. Then once you know the PV, you can spread across for finding out the PMT. Okay, I will take you to the Excel and show you how you have to be doing it. So what I have done here is, initially whatever is the liquid scheme values I have written here. Then I have taken the equity values. Okay. Liquid scheme values, equity values. But what I need to do is, these things I have to copy in a line, increasing it from age 12. Okay. So what will happen is, liquid scheme is starting at a later date, whereas equity is starting at a earlier date. So I need to insert some 6 columns over here. 6 or 5? Let me insert only 5. I'll give the age here. So his current age is 12, 13. One second. Okay. So at age 12, 0, I am talking about only withdrawals here, that's why I put 0 here. So the scheme is only from 12 to 21 in equity. Okay. So this is what is the equity period. So these are all the withdrawals that are going to happen. So what I need to do know is, I need to find out the NPV first. Okay. if he is going to do a single investment, how much he has to do. Anyway, he is spreading across, starting from second withdrawal to the final withdrawal, close the bracket. So you have the money equivalent. As usual, first line I will leave and then add it later, but first line adding doesn't have any meaning here because it is a zero amount. So if he is doing a one-time investment today in equity, he has to put in 12,76,413. Whereas he is going to do SIP, that is monthly investment. So I have to say PMT, but remember, if it is PMT monthly immediately, what I need to do? I think you will know what I need to find out. I need to find out the nominal rate, right? So I will go for nominal, open the bracket, 12%, comma 12. So I know the nominal rate. Then I come back here, equal to PMT, open the bracket, rate is 11.38 divided by 12, comma, N period is how many years he is saving? 12 to 21 is 9 years, 9 into 12, and then PV is equal to this value. This is PV. Future value is 0 because I am just equating it to the PV. Type is 1. So 18,764 rupees he has to save on a monthly basis, starting from the age of 12 till 21. Here, why we are taking it as present value and equating it is because there is an overlap. There is an overlap of withdrawal and investment. Correct? During the age 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, withdrawal is also happening. Investment is also happening. So whenever there is a overlap, generally what we do is, we bring the total amount to today's value, then spread it across to whichever period that is applicable. Okay. So that's what is an important point you need to understand in this question. Even though it's a small question, very complex to understand this. Okay. Why? Because he is telling that he is saving in equity in SIP starting from the age of 12 till 1 year prior to the last withdrawal. Because the last withdrawal is at age 22, he is going to stop the withdrawal at 21, savings at 21. Now, to understand how much he has to switch, I am going to the liquid scheme, and then whatever is the required amount I am posting, and each one I am discounting for 1 year because withdrawal is going to happen 1 year prior to the actual requirement. Okay. Then I know what is the amount that is being switched from equity to liquid. So once I know the switches, then I can discount and equate it to one single present value, and so that I can spread it across for any period. Suppose in the same question they have given that they are going to save till 18, till 19, till 20. Anything they have given, it is easy for you. Correct? The reason is because first you have equated to present value. That is one-time investment. As he is not doing a one-time investment, you can move it across to any period. So I have done it for 9 years. So if it is 20 means you can do it for 8 years. Whereas if you bring it to a future value at this point, generally we do it, right? In retirement and all, we find the retirement corpus and then taking it as future value, we find out the PMT. If you want to do it that way, in such cases, this investment should happen only for these 6 years or 5 years. Actually, it is not happening that way. It's happening for a overlapping period. So whenever there is an overlap of investment and withdrawal, this is the best way to do it. Bring down to the value to current value, present value of one single investment. Then spread it across for the required period. Okay. Hope you are clear with this. This is very important because I have seen many questions are being asked, it seems. So many people come and tell me, we didn't know how to do it. It's so simple to understand. Once you understand, it doesn't take much time. Understanding is a problem there. But if you go...
Yeah, now I got it. In fact, my mind worked till the withdrawal, but not the present, taking present value of the liquid fund.
Okay, that's it. So these are all some certain simple things. Once you learn in the exam, you will not have struggle. Okay, but people have to learn so many patterns. People get bored, they think, okay, two case studies, let me prepare and go and give the exam. These special questions were posted in FPSB for some time back, actually, but such patterns are also appearing in the exam. So see, 18764.41 is the answer. Okay, so let's see what is their answer. 18764. They don't do it in cash flow method. They use some PV again and again. Each one separately they do something. See, somehow I am not for it. I do at a cash flow method so that I can correct everything there itself. One correction I can take it effectively for all the lines comfortably. Okay. So this is what is one method. So the next question.
How many CFPs are in India right now?
Approximately around 3000. See, certified people are many. Certified people might have crossed more than 7,000, 6 to
Okay.
7,000. But what happened is, certified in the sense people who have cleared all the modules. But many college students clear it. They don't have the experience criteria satisfied, so they don't get the certification. Until they clear the experience criteria, they will not be able to get the certificate. So
What is
because
the
of which,
what's experience criteria?
one should have at least 3 years experience, right? You should have 3 years experience in the finance industry, servicing the clients. Either it should be in taxation, any one of the component is fine. You can be in insurance or mutual funds or taxation. All that is fine. If you are in accounts, you should have 5 years. But students, in fact, many students think they use the CFP as a tool for getting a job. Actually, CFP is not like that. It's a professional course, and it is well suited for people who are who are working already, who want to have a higher qualification to give a better service to the client. Instead, if I just do it just to get a job, without experience, CFP doesn't help. That's the reason one of the criteria is you should have experience of 3 years. You should know the products. This is only to design a portfolio for a client, make him understand the need for every component. It is not just for selling. It's not a single product. It's a process. In fact, there are many institutes. What they do is, CFP institutes, they do go to different colleges, and then the students come in bulk and take up the classes, coaching, and then give the exam. For them, because they are still in the studying mode, they will be able to prepare and give the exam, clear the exam. But after the exam, they have to wait for 3 years to get the certificate, right? But there is a supervisory mode where people can work under the supervisor for 1 year, which satisfy the 3-year requirement. But I don't know how many people qualify for that because supervisors are very limited in number across India.
So I believe this is not case for me. I'm in the student for last 13 years. Anything else I have to provide them?
You have to provide relieving letter for your company. If you have worked if you are employed somewhere, same company 13 years or different companies?
Different companies.
Okay, any company, 3 years experience, whatever you have, you can produce that. If you have a relieving letter from the company where it states that you have worked from this date to this date, kind of, so that is enough. Or you can attach appointment letter and relieving letter so that both will have a time period. They can take it from there. So like that you can do.
Okay.
See, 3 years minimum should be there. You can have 13 years or 15 years. I had 25 years of service. So like that you can give any number.
So, are you in this investment segment or teaching only?
Actually, I have done everything. In fact, I have been
Mm.
doing financial planning for the clients for some a certain number of years, and I have been into. I mean, still I hold AMFI license, and then I have a set of clients for whom I advise on mutual fund investments and all that. And then I do this insurance also because I'm a part of Right or Essence as their principal officer now. I mean, too, in fact, not exactly principal officer. I am a manager in insurance. I'm heading their insurance team. So, because
That's great.
insurance has been my forte. Insurance has been my forte. I am a qualified associate from Insurance Institute of India, associateship. And also I have cleared life and non-life for broking license also. So, all qualifications are there. But thing is like slowly I'm in the retiring mode. So,
Yeah, I can see.
I'm not in there. How could you see that?
At least your age and your experience, of course, tell me. And once in a lifetime, you have to slow down yourself.
Yeah, true. The thing is like, after some time you don't have the, what do you call it, mood to
Yes.
acquire clients, go behind and all that. We feel that, okay, let them,
Okay.
somebody else service us. Instead of we providing service. That stage you reach.
Once you start giving up your clients, I'm happy.
Pardon? Giving up my clients?
Yeah. Once you feel okay, you want to get rid of your burden,
Uh,
please
no, I don't.
recommend me.
See what I. No, actually, I was doing it along with one of my students who was like 2010. I had good
Okay.
students, student who wanted to start. We started on our own for financial planning. We acquired clients, and then later he is taking care of the clients because I wanted to involve more into teaching only, and so I don't do
Okay.
it. So that way, I have actual financial planning is kind of sub-product for my clients. I don't charge anything. I'm not a registered investment advisor, so
Okay.
advice is only orally. I just suggest them. I sit with them, advise them, clearly tell them what is required. I discuss with them and suggest only investment products. That is mutual funds. If they want to do
Okay.
direct investment, they do it that way. Yeah,
Okay. Okay.
I don't charge for financial planning now. Yeah. So
Let's
the
move on.
next question, yeah, the next question is for his son's higher education after 15 years, a client estimates a lump sum required of 50 lakhs and a further 30 lakhs for the son's business establishment 3 years later. Okay, so son is going for higher education after 15 years. So the son might be 3 years now. So 18 at 18 he is going for higher education, and then after 3 years the client estimates lump sum requirement 50 lakhs and then further 30 lakhs for his son's business establishment 3 years later. That means he will study for 3 years higher education, and then after that he will establish his business. You advise an investment strategy whereby equivalent funds are available in liquid scheme after 15 years. Same type, right? Just now what we saw. So 50 lakh is the requirement after 15 years, and also there is a requirement of 30 lakhs 3 years later. That is 18 years from now. So for both availability, you are making the fund available in liquid scheme at the end of 15 years. This involves starting an SIP in equity scheme immediately, increasing such investment by 20% after every 3-year period, and thus continuing for a total period of 12 years. At the end of 12 years, 30% of the outstanding equity corpus every year is redeemed and invested in liquid funds until the entire equity fund is redeemed and invested in liquid funds after 15 years. What equity SIP amount is required immediately? If a stress test is applied for 2% reduction in the equity returns and 1% reduction in the liquid returns, by what percentage equity SIP amount should be stepped up in every 3-year span? Okay. Okay, 12% and 6%. See, this question is a very detailed question. Okay, not difficult. Generally what happens is understanding the question, if you are clear, then it becomes easy. Okay, So the first timeline, like how we did for liquid and equity there, same way you have to do it. Here the advantage is there are not many withdrawals, there are only 2 withdrawals. He requires 50 lakhs after 15 years and 30 lakhs after 18 years. Only 2 withdrawals. Okay. So I will write amounts required, that is after 15 years what he requires is 50 lakhs. What he has given there at current cost and all he has not given. He has just given sum of 50 lakhs. So you need not inflate it also. So I'll just write 50 lakhs here. Then after 18 years what he requires is 30 lakhs. Okay. So 2 fund requirements are there, and you advise an investment strategy. So comes the investment strategy. Then what you need to look for is how long he is going to invest. So all his entire investments from equity is redeemed after 15 years. So after 15 years nothing is going to be in equity. So what I need to find out is, here the cash flow is going to be like this: 50 lakhs, then next year 0, next year 0, then 30 lakhs. Isn't it? Because imagine at the age of 18, 19, 20 and then 21. What does it mean? When he is starting the college education, he requires 50 lakhs and he completes it after 3 years, then he requires 30 lakhs. These are all the 2 requirements. So what I am supposed to do is, these are all the things which are in liquid schemes. These are the values in liquid schemes. So I need to find out the NPV at age 18. I am not finding out as on today. I am finding out NPV at age 18 because what is happening? What is age 18? Age 18 is after 15 years. I am just assuming the age of the child at present is 3. Assuming the age of the child at present is 3, so 15 years later becomes 18. That is what I am assuming. Okay. So now I need to find out the NPV. Okay. So that NPV becomes my future value for my accumulation. In the previous question, I have equated it to present value as on today because there was an overlap of withdrawal and investment. In this case, there is no overlap. Investment is stopping after 15 years and my withdrawal is starting after that period only. So in such cases, when there is no overlap, I can find out present value of my withdrawals and keep that as future value to find out my PMT. Okay. So that is investment. So what I do here, 1 year prior I need to do the NPV. NPV, open the bracket. Rate is how much? Liquid return is 6%, comma, values is from second year 1, 2, 3. Comma, close the bracket, and then first entry you just add it. So what is required is 75 lakhs 18,000. You could have done 3 years discount for 30 lakhs and added it with 50 lakhs. That is also fine. Okay. So at age 18 he should have, that is 15 years after now, he should have 75 lakhs accumulated corpus. This is what? This is the required corpus. Okay. Now I should start my monthly investment. What is that monthly investment I am going to do? He is going to do investment strategy whereby equivalent funds are available in liquid scheme after 15 years. That is fine. This involves starting an SIP in equity schemes immediately, increasing such investment 20% every 3-year period, thus continuing for a total of 12 years. So what you need to do is, imagine you are starting with First 3 years. What is the investment that is going to be? N is equal to 3 into 12. Then I is equal to, what I need to do? I need to take the nominal rate, nominal, open the bracket, 12%, comma 12. Okay. So that is what is going to be I. Then PV is equal to 0. Then PMT is going to be, I'll take an example of 100 rupees. Okay. Minus 100. Future value is going to be equal to FE, open the bracket. Rate is this divided by 12, that is nominal rate. N period is 36, comma. PMT is minus 100, comma. PV is 0, type is 1. So this is what is going to be my future value. Now what I need to do? The next 3 years. First 3 years I have written here. Instead of that, here I will write next 3 years. How many times it has to happen? 4 times it has to happen, because totally 12 years. So 3 years, 4 times it has to happen. What is the change over here is my PV is going to be minus previous future value. That one alteration I have to do. And then my investment is going to be increased by 20%. That is, instead of that, what I do? 1 plus 20%. This is what I am going to take. So this is what is given there. What they have given there? He is going to start investing some amount, and then he is going to invest, increase it by 20% after every 3-year period, and thus continuing for total period of 12 years. There is one more point which I have not seen, that now only I am looking at it. 30% of the required corpus is redeemed and invested in liquid scheme after 15 years. That is one thing which is there. Okay. So this is also a overlapping. Okay. So we may have to move something else over here. Let's see. Because that's an important point. I am putting it in red line, red color. Okay. So the NPV what we have found out here is not sufficient. Okay. There also there is a overlap. So at which place we have to compare? 30% of the outstanding equity fund corpus every year is redeemed and invested in liquid funds until the entire equity fund is redeemed after 15 years. Okay. Okay. How do you do this? 30% of the outstanding. What equity SIP should be started? Okay. Okay. This is going to be a real challenge. Okay. So here I can't do 3 years together. Each year I need to do separately. So let us not do it this way. The 30% thing I didn't see it in the first time. So that's the reason. Okay. So what they say is at the end of 12 years. Okay. Okay. Come on. See how difficult it is when you start thinking in one line. Okay. So here what they say is your investments are continuing for 12 years. But your withdrawal is in equity, withdrawal is starting after 15 years. So the last 3 years only he is doing something. What he is doing? 30% of the outstanding equity fund corpus every year is redeemed and invested in liquid scheme until entire equity fund is redeemed after 15 years. Okay. So this process is starting after 12 years only. Luckily we are safe up to 12 years. Okay. So let us do this process up to 12 years. So I am doing it twice this way. Okay, so what will happen here? Next 3 years, what is happening? This is 36, okay, 3 years, this is okay. PV is how much? G25 it is taking, right? Okay, so what it is doing over here is it is increasing it to 144, 20% increase, that is also correct. And what is the PV here? It is taking from where? G31, that is also correct. Okay, so 172 it has increased. So at the end of 12 years, my future value is going to be 38,809. Okay, now this is what is my accumulation. My accumulation is going to happen only for 12 years. Okay, so now we'll go back to our timeline. I'll take a new whiteboard to make you understand this. Okay, so here what we are starting with is a timeline. Again, equity timeline. So what is happening in equity timeline? In equity timeline, up to 12 years investment is happening. Okay, 1, 2, oh God. I don't know why it flew away. Okay, so sometimes drawing on a board is different. Okay, this is one starting point. First 3 years, 6 8, 6 years, 9 years, and then 12 years. So this is done. After 12 years, another 3 years, the money is going to grow, and then withdrawal is going to happen till the end of the period. Now what is happening? What we need to do? Double arrowhead 1 is still here. It is equity, and then from here to here it is going to be liquid. But here also equity is having an extension till 15. I am doing it separately because SIP is happening only for the first 12 years. SIP for 12 years. And then here withdrawal, that is switch. Equity to debt. Sorry, liquid, not debt. Okay, that is what is happening during the last 3 years. Then what is happening? This period is happening only liquid scheme. Okay, so here this below is line is fully liquid. So in fact the last line, this period is not required in the equity line. Equity line ends at age 15. Okay, ends at 15 years period. So if I make this as 1, this is after 3 years. Six years period is over. This is 9 years period is over, and this is 12 years is over, and then this is 15 years. So with this equity ends, and then 18 years is the period where that is left in only in the case of liquid scheme. Okay. Now liquid scheme, what is the period? Liquid scheme period starts from 12 to 18. So how many years are there? 6 years period. So what is happening in the 6 year in liquid scheme? Like the other time what we wrote, same way we can write the liquid scheme. Okay, starting from age 12, 13, not age actually, it is the year, 12, 13, 14, 15, and then 16, 17, and then I need to extend this line a little bit, 18. Okay, so I need to write after 12 years, this is 13, 14 years, 15 years, this is not age, 16 years, 17 years, and then 18 years. Okay, if you are keeping the age, then we have to keep it as starting from 15, 16, 17, ending at 21. Okay, so at age 18, he is going to withdraw, sorry, at the end of 30, he is going to withdraw 30 lakhs, 30 000, right? Here no withdrawal, here no withdrawal, no withdrawal. At 15, he is withdrawing 50 lakhs. Then what is happening here is 12, 13, 14 and 15, there are certain incoming funds also. Okay, so here 0. Now what is this line? This line is our liquid scheme line. Okay, I am drawing this line as a liquid scheme line for you to understand what are all the withdrawals from liquid. But what is happening into liquid scheme is there are certain inputs that are coming to the liquid scheme. What are the inputs? The inputs are actually, they are going to get in certain funds which are invested up to the age of 15. So what I do is, I have already found out the NPV at this stage. I have kept it at 15 years. What is the NPV? Considering these two withdrawals, in liquid scheme, what is the amount that has to be available? I have found out. So that is there. Okay. So intact. Now we will concentrate on in equity scheme. Equity SIP is happening and then withdrawal is also happening. Okay. So equity I need to take from today till 15 years and find out what is the amount I have pushed to liquid. Okay. See why see there are two things. One is 50 lakhs and 30 lakhs are real values, whereas what I am taking as SIP is a imaginary value, 100 rupee. So I cannot combine both. Like how we have done the earlier question. What we did in the earlier question, what are all the switches that are happening? I have posted those values also here in the liquid cash flow. But now we can't do it. The reason is because withdrawal is the real value, whereas investment is an assumed value as 100 rupees. Okay. So now what I need to do is, now I have to grow my SIP at 100 rupee example. Just a minute. What am I doing, Yash? Okay. I am recording anyway, or should I stop? Okay. I'll just put it on hold. Yeah. So the investment is happening in this case like this. See, look at the investment. Starting an SIP in equity scheme immediately, increasing such investment by 20% after every 3-year period, and thus continuing for a total period of 12 years. So he is going to do the investment only for 12 years. And that too what he is doing? 3 years it is 100 rupees, means the next 3 years it is going to be 20% increase. Then next 3 years another 20% increase. Like that it goes on and on for the 12-year period, and he is creating one corpus. At the end of 12 years, what he is going to do is, out of the equity corpus, 30% of the corpus he is moving to liquid. Balance 70% will grow for 1 year. And next year again he is doing the same thing. 30% moving to liquid and balance 70% will be there. Third year go doing the same thing. Like that he is doing till 15 years. At 15th year he is moving everything to the liquid scheme. So this is what is stated in the, I have highlighted in red color now, that place. At the end of 12 years, 30% of the outstanding equity fund corpus every year is redeemed and invested in liquid scheme until entire equity fund is redeemed after 15 years. Okay. So my comparison is going to be happening only at the 15th year. So no problem. What we calculated as the NPV is fine. Okay. Earlier first step we did, no, that is fine. So what I have done here, 3 years I have grown the 100 rupees and then by increasing the SIP by 20% every 3 years. So my final value is coming to 38,309. Okay. So at the end of 12 years, 38,309 is there in his equity scheme. Now what he is going to do, in equity he will keep 70% of that, and then in liquid he is going to keep 30%. That's why I have put here B21 into 70 here, and then in this case it's going to be 30. Okay. So like that, next year what I am going to do, next year I am taking this equity value and growing it for 1 year. Just look at this, C21 multiplied by 1 plus 12%. That means only the 70% what is left over there, I am growing it for 1 year. Why? What I do, take the 70% and grow it for 1 year. Then take the 70%, 30%. Then last year, 15th year, what is happening? This amount which is there in equity is growing for 1 year. That 1 year amount is fully pushed to liquid. Nothing is in equity. The whole amount is pushed to liquid scheme. Got it? So the values which are going to be there in liquid schemes are 11,493, 9010, 7064 and 18,461. These are all assumed value. Just remember, these are all not real value. When 100 rupees invested, these are all the liquids. So what I need to find out is the final future value as usual. So what I do here, this value multiply by 1 plus 6%. You remember how do we do it for future value calculation? 6% is the return, no? Equity return. Sorry, liquid return. Okay. Then next year what we do? Open the bracket, take the previous value plus current value multiplied by 1 plus 6%. Okay. So after doing that, pull it for next year. But actually last year we need not grow. Okay, just add it because it is already at the end of 15th year, so we shouldn't grow it. So these are all the values which are there in my equity, liquid scheme year after year. So 12,000 was there, then it grown to 22, then it became 31. So finally at the end of 15th year I have 49,761 which is available in my liquid scheme. So what happens if 100 rupees is invested, or I can say if 49,761 is the corpus at the end of 15 years, 15 years from now, the investment is 100. I am starting an investment of 100. Whereas if required corpus at the end of 15 years is, if the required corpus at the end of 15 years is 75,18,858. 75,18,858. Okay, if that is the corpus, what should be the investment? So its formula is very easy. 100 into required corpus, 75,18,858 divided by my future value. What is the future value? 49,761. Okay. So 15,109 is going to be the final starting investment. Instead of 100 rupees, he has to start with monthly SIP of 15,110 and then increase it every 3 years by 20%, and then after 12 years, whatever is growing in equity, he has to move 30% every year to liquid scheme. Then he will be able to. Don't think that I have not taken nominal rate for growth. Here there is no SIP of monthly, so when I am growing equity, I am taking only 12% here. Okay. Liquid scheme, I am taking 6% and then growing it year after year in this next columns. Okay. So the final value is this. So 15,110 is the answer. That is the monthly SIP he has to start with. What is the equity SIP amount that is required immediately? So 15,110 rupees. That is what is the answer. Okay. The very next question is, if a stress test is applied for 2% reduction in equity return and 1% reduction in liquid return, what percentage of equity SIP amount should be stepped up in every 3 years span? So what will happen here is, they are talking about a stress test. So the whole process you have to do it keeping 10% as the equity return and 5% as the liquid return. Actually, it's a practice for you. It's very good. Now you have learned how to do it. What you need to do is, same thing you repeat it for 12% and 5%. 10% and 5%. 10% as the equity return, 5% as liquid return. Then you will be arriving at some amount like this. Okay. But that will not be the correct answer, because what they are asking you is what percentage you have to step up. Okay. So what you need to do is, if 15,110 is the requirement, stepping up is 20%. So if you are getting say 25,310 something, so if 25,310 is the requirement, how much you have to increase that percentage. So that is how you need to do the stress test. But that you can give it as a try. But till this point you can do the stress test, because it's like a practice question. Okay. You do the complete calculation for equity return of 10% and liquid return of 5%. Then you will be able to understand the calculation. Percentage rise, so that the entire okay. Answers, choose one of them, you'll be able to compare that. Because we are doing it in a sheet only, Excel sheet only substituting the percentage will help you to get it. That's one question. And the last question is, you estimate has got 25 lakhs. I think this is not required, because this is not a final module question. In fact, this type of question we have done in Roger and Urushi also. They are asking you about the calculation of life cover. Okay. Just copy I'll copy this question, or you can take this question as your trial. You can do it and get back. Okay. Life
Sure.
cover.
And I'm not seeing your window.
Achha, okay. Sorry. He has got a spouse. See, he's 32 years old. He has 25 lakhs loan liability. He has non-working spouse, age 30, and children, age 7 and 5. The client wants higher education, each of his child 30 lakhs after 15 years, and marriage expenses 15 lakh after 20 years. All are current cost or whatever, they have not given that. Both are considered at current cost. Their present household expenses are 50,000 per month, which includes housing loan EMI of 15. The client consumes per month 8,000 on self. You additionally provide for 30 years living expenses after spouse's age of 55, considering she would require only 60% of the expenses thereafter. He has an insurance cover of 40 lakhs presently and his financial investments are 15 lakhs. So the additional quantum of life insurance cover is dash, assuming that all expenses required are inflation invested at 8% return. See, if you want it as a practice, you can do it. Okay. So,
Okay, practice it.
yeah, this file I'll send it to you. The one which I am showing here now, this FPSB patterns, I'll just send it to you anyway. But don't do the pattern in the manner in which they have shown. Okay. So I am trying to simplify by showing this in Excel and then doing it in a cash flow method only always, so that we will reduce the challenges. Okay. So what shall we do? So this is what is this comes to the end of these patterns.